back again. So when we last left off, we were talking about the Hall of Fame, all the people who got in, great class, and we all agree on that. Now we're just looking at the wide receiver position. I think the wide receiver position in the NFL, the love that they get for Hall of Fame has been kind of mixed. You know what I mean? Like T.O. didn't get in for a while. Isaac Bruce didn't get in for a while. Torrey Holt didn't get in for a while. But you got Metatron, who was a first ballot. So his first time on, he got in. So my question is to all y'all, what current wide receiver do you think will get in first ballot? All right. Soul Toast, we're going to start with you, brother.
Two right off top of my head is Larry Fitz. He's got to be first ballot. And Julio Jones.
Absolutely.
I think Julio still got a few good years left in him. And Fitz, I don't know what he's still doing there. He's got nothing left to prove. He's not going to win in Arizona, but he also don't want to leave. I've heard they've talked to him about trading him somewhere where he could be, get a chance for a ring, but he constantly turns it down. So just off the top of my head, first ballot Hall of Famers, I say Larry Fitz and Julio Jones. I think there's some other receivers right now that'll get in, but first ballot, I think it's definitely only those two at the moment that I could think of right now.
Gotcha. Hey, MVP, who you got, brother? Who's going to be that first ballot?
I think AJ Green.
Oh.
I think his numbers are, I might be a Georgia bias.
Hey, it's Georgia bias, bro.
I'm a hell of Georgia bias.
Man, hey, I went to high school with AJ Green.
He done had some terrible quarterbacks and put up some good numbers, man.
Hey, my brother. What the hell you talking about?
He done had some terrible quarterbacks and put up some great numbers.
He has.
I remember when he came out of high school, of course, he went to Georgia.
Mm.
We was all saying that he's better than Julio. Then Falcons got Julio. Then we like Julio's better.
I never said he's better than Julio.
I told you, Georgia bias, man.
Hell no. I ain't never said no shit like that.
Julio started hurt a lot in college.
You never heard
kind of like NFL shit.
Yeah. I might have said it one time. It's definitely one of those situations where depending on who we got, that's who was gonna be better.
I actually think AJ was ranked higher. I think AJ was ranked higher coming out of high school, I believe.
I think he was too. Yeah.
All right. AJ Green, that's pretty bold.
You threw one.
You threw a real one.
That's what we're here for, to get attention.
All right, hey, Matt, hook me up.
Well, I think so. At one point, we all know it was harder for whatever reason. Wide receivers had to wait to get in the hall. I think with the way the game done changed the passing league now, and the game is skewed towards quarterback and a wide receiver, you'll see a lot more guys going first ballot now. So I think for me, Larry Fitz, I'm not even gonna say his name because it's obvious, right? Like he fucking first ballot Hall of Famer. But Julio Jones and Deandre Hopkins, I think Nook, first ballot guy, man. That's a bad dude, man. The way some of the balls he be catching. Like Julio's a better wide receiver, but he's a better, like, I guess he got better hands. Like I still take Julio because the way Julio can kind of get in out of brace at his size. But dog, some of that stuff DeAndre Hopkins be doing, I'm just like, bro, how did you do that? Like that one play he was falling down, the ball went between his ankles, and he like pinned it up and caught it. I was like, dog, that's crazy. Like he makes a lot of hard catches look routine, bro. And it's like a real skill, man. And he has a good quarterback to keep up that kind of pace and to give him those opportunities, bro. Just chuck it up and let him go get it. So I think Julio and Nook, like personally, and look, Julio Jones, same thing, man. Enough said. Probably made the best catch outside of San Antonio Holmes and Julio Jones probably tied for the best catch in Super Bowl history. Like that back of the end zone catch by San Antonio Holmes, something stupid. Like that was crazy. And then the play that should have won the.
That's not.
Mute yourself.
It's a big difference between them two catches.
It's a huge difference. But bro, that play should have won them the Super Bowl. You know what broke my heart? Matt Ryan did a story with Peter King that offseason, and he talked about that play, bro. And he was like, after we made that play, I thought that we had made the play to win the Super Bowl. And like, I guess what they didn't write was until Kyle Shanahan decided to be a fucking dickhead, and ruin our hopes and dreams. Go back and watch. Dog, go back and watch that play. Matt Ryan, first of all, fucking Matt Ryan rolled right, flipped his hips straight. He did something he never does. He rolled right, flipped his hips to put the ball. He threw the ball high and hard where only Julio could catch it. And one of my issues with Matt Ryan is he ain't got enough arm strength. But on that particular play, bro, he channeled some other shit, bro. He put some mustard on the ball where it had to be. Julio catches the ball at the 20.
And taps his feet. That's what I love about it. He taps
And
his feet.
we fucking lost, B.
Oh man.
Hit the fucking field goal, Kyle. Oh my God.
You don't brought us up as some bad memories. I hate Kyle Shanahan for that game. I hate Devontae Freeman for that game.
Oh,
That block he missed.
Jake Matthews, Devontae Freeman, Kyle Shanahan. And Devontae was balling. But that fucking missed block, bro. Like, God.
Like, how do you miss that? You weren't even, it's like he wasn't even looking.
He couldn't believe they were passing, man.
Had Tevin Coleman not gotten hurt, he wouldn't have been in on that play because Tevin Coleman was always the guy protecting the passer that year. So, I mean, it's circumstance, bro. Boy, all right. Fucking, can we end this shit right now? But we still got
but the thing about Nuke, man, he don't take no play for granted.
Yeah.
He trying to catch everything.
You do.
Well, it's like this. So, for me, clearly, I don't think anything else needs to say. I already think Julio Jones is going to be one of the greatest to ever play the game. Just looking at his current numbers, he has over 12,000 yards. If he wasn't hurt for a lot this year, he probably would have clipped 13,000 yards this season. And that's already a huge feat in itself. He's number one all time in receiving yards per game, right? He had one of the best seasons as a wide receiver when he had, 138 catches and almost 1,800 yards, not 1,800 yards receiving. Yeah. He's one of the greatest, man. Only thing that's a big knock on Julio is his touchdowns. And we're looking at the team, we're looking at Matt Ryan. This is what I do love Matt Ryan for. He spreads the ball. He might not have the arm strength, but the man knows how to spread the ball. And he just keeps everybody guessing. I hate that they use Julio as a decoy, but he keeps people guessing a lot. And I think that's part of his greatness. But Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, like you said, Deandre Hopkins, probably one of the best pass catchers in the game or in NFL history. I'm not going to give nothing to Michael Thomas, slant boy, with all them receptions he got. I mean, look, when you get 200 targets, you're going to get those catches. Like, come on. Easy. And I'm not even going to put him on the list of being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he might be a third or fourth ballot, honestly. And that's just how I feel about it. I don't think he's that good. I mean,
we're gonna see next year without Drew Brees.
Yeah, we're gonna see next year. He's gonna have crab legs on the ball or something like that. I don't know. But look at
I don't know. Crab legs like to sling it. He got Mike Evans all them yards.
But Mike Evans is 6'4". He ran like a 4.4, 4.3. I don't forgot what he ran. But he's a big body, fast receiver. Michael Thomas, he ain't gonna beat nobody downfield. Like, you put that boy on a fly route, he ain't gonna burn anybody.
Well, it's weird because he ran 4.5. Like, Mike Thomas ain't like slow. He's just like he don't run flies. Like, he don't run deep routes. It's weird. It's always a post or a fucking, like, it's always a slant. It's always something like that. And look, credit to him. You get a chance to catch 100 motherfucker, but he's a good player. But I ain't gonna shit on him. But I don't see him as a Hall of Fame caliber.
Nah, I don't see him as Hall of Fame caliber. I mean, because if he's Hall of Fame caliber, we might as well get Calvin Ridley. So what?
I say I'm still mad at that 99 Madden rating. That's bull.
Yeah.
I shit on everything in New Orleans. Everything in New Orleans, I shit on.
Damn.
Some Saints haters up in here. It is what it is.
Except Cam Jordan. Trade Cam Jordan. I love him, B. I need Cam Jordan on my team.
Trade him to here or trade him out of the conference or something.
Trade him to us or out of fucking division. Yes. Fuck.
Y'all go after JJ Watt. He need a place.
Yeah, he gonna want too much bread, dog.
He don't want too much bread, but you gotta look at the defense that Atlanta's gonna be switching to, which I'm really, really, really excited about.
He a 3-4. I mean, that's what he do.
We ain't got no money, man.
Oh, we ain't got bread. We ain't got. We broke.
Yeah.
We black people broke.
They talking about letting Neil and they talking about letting both safeties go.
Keon Neal, I think we should keep, but that other kid, Allen, he not a fucking free safety. Like you need to go get you a real body back there at that spot. So I ain't got a problem with that. But he was good for what he did, though. Real talk.
Yeah, for what he did for the team, I thought he was pretty good. KZ, I really hope we keep KZ. He was a ball hawk, but I understand their direction of going away from him because of injury. Could not come back 100%. I'm not even sold on Keon Neal coming back, but that's a segment for another time. So that's what we got, a Hall of Fame reaction right there, and our future first ballot wide receivers. All right, moving on. So I'm gonna ask for y'all open opinions on this statement that KG did. So he basically said that players from his era of 20 years ago will not be able to play in this current era with everybody else. So I know a lot of y'all old school. I know a lot of y'all like Michael Jordan era and everything like that. How do y'all feel on this statement? Do you feel that players from his era could thrive in this current era, or could they just falter, like you're saying? MVP, go with you, brother.
I think there's a few players that could play in this era. Only problem is KG era is physical. In a way, you can play physical in this era. You'll fall out in the first quarter. I think KG could play in the era. You have to have more skill now. Like that's why big man is obsolete right now, because you got to have skill. Like AD can put it on the ground, put it in the post, shoot from three, shoot from mid range. Big man can do that back then.
Play like no Charles Oakley.
Right. So yeah, I think a few guys could play. But I think KG made a good point.
Yeah. Okay.
Kobe could have played, of course.
Of course. That's not an interesting question. RP, mom. Hey, Sotos, what you got, brother?
I 100% disagree with KG. I don't understand why these players keep saying so-and-so couldn't play in this era. Now, if Tony Stark went back in time and plucked the person out and dropped them in 2020 and 2021, I'd understand. But these are professional athletes. If the game is different now, they would just play a different style. It's not like they mentally can't change the game. I mean, like, even Charles Oakley, I mean, that's just Kendrick Perkins. Big body, styles and stuff.
That's disrespectful to Charles Oakley.
That's really disrespectful, Charles Oakley.
I mean, yeah. I just picked a big body that, just there to mess with people. But like, if KG would have learned to shoot, because he would have been brought up that way. Mm-hmm. The game is different now. Players are being brought up different now. So if KG and all these other players were around the age in their prime now, they would be brought up to play today's game. It's just like I don't understand why some these old heads think that can't transition, or these players can't learn to play a different style.
LeBron couldn't play in the 80s. Somebody, he's 6'8", 280. What the fuck are you talking about? He could have played that.
Now the great players, definitely, like some of the, I don't want to say bottom feeders, but some of them that weren't so great, maybe they'd get pushed down the bench a little bit, but they would all adapt, I think. I think any player can do that.
Okay,
I'm with it. Hey, Matt, what you say, bro?
I agree with Leo. Same thing, bro. I mean, great players respond to the times that they're in. So whatever the game like thrusts upon you, great players always rise to the occasion, right? Like that, like evolution. So it's like I heard sometimes somebody said Michael Jordan wouldn't translate to this era well because he couldn't shoot threes. I'm like, bro, he couldn't shoot threes back then because that wasn't what the game required. He's fucking Michael Jordan. Of course he would fucking learn to shoot threes. What the fuck are you talking about? Like shit like that. Like I think the only way that rule really applies is to like those big plotting big men of the era. Like just because physically they just don't have the athleticism to really play the way the game is played now. KG be a monster today. Oh my God. Had you brought KG up shooting threes, bro, he'd have been a fucking monster, bro. He'd been a fucking problem. So I'm with him, bro. Great players adjust to the era, man. Like, no matter what era you're in, like even the backwards compatibility. You trying to, bro? If you pluck, like you say, let's take Tony Stark's time machine, and we're gonna send Stephen Curry back to the quantum realm and send him back to the 80s, bro. They're gonna shoot him because they think he's like an alien, bro. Like what Steph Curry would do to that 70s and 80s game, bro. Like
They were not expecting this man to shoot like that.
But the
like,
major
bro,
difference is why everybody's shooting threes because you can play zone now. You can play zone back then.
Yeah,
good. You're right.
So what's the best way to beat the zone? Shoot over it.
Shoot over it. Yeah. Why try to go through it? Yeah. And then another thing is the way the evolution of the game works is when one player rises, when one player of a exceptional skill set comes about, other players follow him because that's just the way other kids try to emulate that, right? Like Stephen Curry, obviously. Now we look at Damian Lillard. Dame shoot like fucking Steph now. Fucking LeBron he's shooting the ball 41% from three this year. Like it just, that's the way the game goes. So when other players of other unique skill sets arrive, like I truly believe like Michael being what Michael was, the only way you can compete with Michael was you have to have like an Allen Iverson. Like he was bound to inspire the Kobe's, the Tracy McGrady's, the Vincents. That's just the way basketball works. So the great players of the game, they can translate like all day. Unless you like has a real athletic ceiling.
Yeah.
Like Elijah Warren in this era, oh my goodness. Oh. You're probably about the best basketball player ever. Like legit.
Well, I agree with you. I 100% disagree with KG because let's look at it like this. Like Steve Kerr in that era and playing in this era, he would be a 3-point monster. He would be shooting the lights out. He'd probably be just like JJ Redick, not JJ Redick right now because he's going through little struggles, but JJ Redick when he was with the Clippers, that would have been Steve Kerr. His game would have translated so well for this era. Sean Kemp, he's not a 3-point shooter, but his game would have translated to this era. He was just an athletic freak. He can do what he wanted to do. Like his game would translate. Michael Jordan, you just said that too. If Mike was in this league, of course he would start shooting threes. It's called adaptability. Like you adapt to the era and you adapt to the game. And that's what Michael Jordan would have done. When you talk about LeBron and how everyone wants to do this whole LeBron and Jordan debate. Look, Jordan is the guy that everybody's chasing. LeBron may have passed him in the numbers and everything, but he was always chasing Jordan. Just because of the way Jordan played in his era, and this is what I commend him for, he embarrassed his defenders. He embarrassed them. And I loved every second. He embarrassed his defenders, man. But he would adapt to this game. I think he would have been more of a passer, more of a shooter if he was in this era. I think someone said it before, Michael Jordan probably averaged 40 in this era. That's just how crazy and ludicrous he was, man. Like, his greatness is undeniable. His adaptability is undeniable. His game was just translated so well to this current era. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're taking 9 threes a game, shoot them at a 38% clip with that skill set, which is what what the top guys do. Yeah.
Steph shooting over 50%. Steph shooting 50+%. That's ridiculous.
No, he hurting this year. His percentage is down by 36.
Okay, taking more. He got no choice but to take more.
12, though. Yeah, I think he's taking like 12 a game or something crazy like that.
But he started off slow. He's starting to pick it back up.
He picking pace now. Yeah.
But, a lot of people just think he's a 3-point shooter, man.
He
can do a lot more other stuff. He can get that whole. Imagine he was 2 inches taller.
Oh man, it'd be ridiculous. He's
an anywhere. He's not a Kyrie level as a ball handler, but he next tier. Like he's a ball handler. Like he can shoot. He can drive. Just a maestro, bro. He's just a fucking creative genius, bro. Like it's insane.
But I think KG got caught up in the moment though, because all these old heads they coming out hating on these kids. So I think KG just want to go against the grain a little bit.
He didn't want to come hate, and you ain't gotta hate, but don't hate on yourself. Like KG would have been a fucking monster. Look, he didn't believe that shit when he said that shit, bro. He didn't believe that.
Just confused because he always wearing skinny jeans nowadays. All the things going on in the world, he's still trying to be cool and hip. That's
Look,
all.
brother, you ain't 21 no more.
Right.
But no, like I think if you take current players in this era right now and try to put them back, get Tony Stark's time machine or whatever, and you try to put them back, I don't think they'll be able to play in the era. One person I think would not be able to play in KG's era, and y'all probably gonna say hell no to it, but Dwight Howard, I don't think would be able to play in that era. Cause they'll be so physical with him. Like you imagine him, just imagine him against the Dikembe Mutombo.
Dog, have you seen Dwight Howard?
Listen, bro.
Have you seen Dikembe?
Listen, bro. I was calling Dwight Howard the way he affected the game is around 2006, 2007. I was ready to call him the best player in the league back then. The way he affected the game overall.
Yeah. It be a debate
was
with
nuts.
LeBron and Dwight Howard, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
He got Rashad Lewis played.
Oh boy, him in that shot.
Soto said a couple months ago, bro, like 2004 fucking Dwight Howard was probably the best defensive player the league has ever fucking seen, dog. Like,
dude was scared to go to the hole, bro.
Like, he was insane, dog. Like, Dwight Howard was fucking stupid. The Dwight Howard's main issue is he got like Shaq hands. You know what I'm saying? He just ain't got no finesse in his game. Yeah. But like, I think he translates better back then than he does now. I think Dwight was actually a little bit after his time. I think that's Dwight's issue.
But see, now Dwight was in that mid era between, that physical area to that shooting era. He was in between, so he thrived perfectly.
Dwight would have fit in much better in like the Kembe's era, Alonzo's era, like Morning's era. I'm sorry, Patrick Ewing. Like I think that's where he actually belonged as a player, bro. And don't forget, prime Dwight Howard knocked prime LeBron James out of the playoffs. Dwight Howard is the reason we didn't get Kobe versus LeBron.
But who did Dwight Howard lose to?
He lost to Kobe in the Lakers, of course.
Kobe in the Lakers. And who was he going against in that series?
Oh, you mean the Cleveland series? Hey, listen, it's fucking LeBron James.
No, I'm not talking about the Cleveland series. I'm talking about against Kobe. If Dwight Howard being as good as he was, who was he going against in that Lakers game?
He was going to get Paul.
He was going to get Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum, yeah.
Bro.
Gasol. Look.
Hey, wait, Paul.
Now we ain't gonna hit on Paul Gasol.
You about to do something crazy. You about to say something crazy.
I feel it.
A little bit.
I feel it. The Lord is telling me I need to.
No, you are about to say something crazy. Fucking Paul Gasol should have been the MVP. The second finals that won. Okay, you were fucking.
Hey, look.
I love Kobe. I love Kobe. Paul Gasol saved him.
But Gasol should have been the MVP in that 2010 final.
Hey, this is what I'm saying. This is all I'm saying.
Don't be
Dwight Howard and the level that he played at, when he's going against Paul Gasol, I think he should have just performed a whole lot better. That's all I'm saying.
Dwight played okay. Dwight didn't play bad. And
on that team, he didn't need to play okay.
But I think
okay wasn't how he needed to play.
I don't think Gasol was guarding Dwight. I think Andrew Bynum was guarding Dwight. That's right. Big boy. Like that's a big.
That's a big boy.
Listen,
but
Andrew Bynum
wasn't that great.
Paul Gasol was the reason we beat Orlando. Andrew Bynum was the reason we beat the Celtics.
The reason y'all beat the Celtics is because Kendrick Perkins got kicked out the game.
Hey, I said that on the chat the other day. I got ridiculed.
That's the only reason. Kobe had what, 15 rebounds that game?
17 rebounds. Yeah.
Kobe had with Perk there.
Hey, Kobe was
Perk was a great post defender.
Rebound.
That's what Perk thrived at, post defense. But if
he got hurt,
anything else other than that,
Gasol should win MVP that year. Oh, but Pat, I disagree with you about that. Gasol, even though Gasol did ball out, go back and look at Kobe's finals numbers at Magic series.
Yeah, but he shot. Well, of course, with Kobe, but he shot a lot of shots, but he shot terrible percentage.
No, he didn't. He shot about like 46% in that series, bro.
You know what I'm thinking about leading up to the game, to the series. He played good in the finals. He didn't play good leading up to the series.
Not win that series. Yeah, they could have hit on
win a game.
They won one. It was like the worst 5-game sweep in the world because they should have won maybe like 2 or 3 of them things. They just came up short.
I mean, AI only got one.
I think Courtney Lee missed a layup.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, it was some craziness going on.
Yeah, I got one because Shaq fouled out.
You know what? I'm gonna say this right now, and it's just me just thinking and spitballing. just imagine if they had JJ Redick playing the way that he was after he left Orlando. I think Orlando would have had a better chance at winning that series. But they didn't use JJ Redick correctly.
At 6'11", 3-point
He still
Star Lewis.
figuring himself out at that point.
That was pretty easy to defend. They had a bunch of 3-point shooters around Dwight.
Yeah. That was about it.
And that was it. And Kobe just took over the game. And I love him for that. That was great.
But Dwight, I think Dwight is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure.
But I think if it's back and got hurt, he'd been for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think his career just went a totally different direction after the injury. But before that, man was balling out. He was Defensive Player of the Year.
Gave him credit for that.
Yeah.
Kobe called him.
He still balled out in Houston. It's just that I guess he wasn't a good locker presence. And by that point, putting up 15 and 13 every night wasn't that impressive. But he was still putting up boards and points.
He was still impressive. Don't get me wrong. He was still impressive.
Should have stayed in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, like around the league, like
unprotected that he was because of that bad back of his.
Yeah. Like you look at what's his name, Andre Drummond. He put up 20 every night, but nobody cared.
Yeah,
like he don't get votes. He don't get first teams or nothing. It's just, but that's crazy stats. It's just that
the game done changed.
It's just not that impressive anymore.
I mean, like, look at Kevin Love. When Kevin Love was in Minnesota, he was doing the same thing.
Oh man.
He was a monster.
Okay,
he was the only one doing it in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one doing it in Minnesota. Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it, but you see how he translated his game. Like he went from being that guy that's going to get you about 20 every single time he plays in Minnesota to being that guy that's hitting 3-pointers with LeBron and Kyrie. I mean, he changed his game in order to become.
LeBron will do that to you.
Everybody got to change their game.
Chris Bosh.
Yeah. Chris Bosh, that's a good example. Chris Bosh changed his game when he got to Miami.
Yeah.
He wasn't shooting threes like that in Toronto. No. But he got to Miami. He's hitting big time threes.
Perfect miss because Anthony Davis can play out there. He got to pick up all that kind of space. So yeah.
Hey, is it me or Anthony Davis look like he out of shape?
Yeah, he a lot of shape. Yeah, he a lot of shape.
That eyebrow still out of shape.
The boy wanted to chip and he went home. Y'all leave him alone.
Shape.
He'll be good.
Gummy worm shape.
He'll be ready to come playoff. I tell you what, a shape. Luka Doncic. That motherfucker's out of shape.
Yeah.
That motherfucker look like me. That motherfucker look a little. That boy jelly roll come from here to there. That motherfucker whole jersey shape. But
I mean he's still 46.
He's still a baller, but you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, because he's so damn young.
Yeah.
But they only have a few months off.
He gonna have a dad bob at 25.
Right. You get that. That BJ Raji body.
Roger. That why Luka's best comparison is James Harden. The way he played, the way he looked.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. Hey, so that's how we're gonna end it for this right here, guys. So next, we're gonna cover NFL draft, and we're gonna segue more into the NBA since the season's still going on. It's getting to the point where everybody hit the All-Star game. So we're gonna segue over to that for the next episode. But right now, that's all we got. So appreciate y'all coming in. Good insight.
Oh, hey, before we bounce, me and Sotos, we got a little side podcast going. We doing pop culture, TV shows, and all that kind of goodness. So y'all keep an eye out for that. We don't have a title yet. Don't worry about it. We might not ever have a title. I don't know. But we talking about Disney Plus, Star Wars, all that shit. And, you know, and whatever other TV shows are popular at the time. So
what's Star Wars?
All of them. God damn it. We like the prequels.
Yeah.
Talk
about that later.
We'll talk about that later. I like the prequels. Obi-Wan Kenobi, bitch.
All right. So that's it. Hey, swipe up, subscribe. We out here.